And saludos programas and welcome, bienvenidos. I am El Buntador, El Segundo, and it is time for Los Lobos de Lucha, your weekly CMLL Viernes Espectacular review. We got the full crew here tonight, peeps. As always, Mikey is here with us. Say hi, Mikey.
Hello.
And we have a returning Papa also with us. Papa also, say hi to everybody.
Hello.
Oh my God.
Okay. I have intro music. Yay.
Yeah, you had the intro. You had the intro music, right? So we are here. And hey, Agent Lo-Fi. ¿Cómo estamos, primo? Good to see you here as always. So we are here to talk about the Viernes Espectacular, CMLL's Friday show. This show was a special show. It was the 69th anniversary show. On April 25th, 2025. We had to finish up a championship and crown a new Universal Champion. And we also had some really fun matches. So let's just get right into it. And we start with an Amazonas or a woman's match, if you will, where it was a relevo sencillo where we had AEW versus CMLL. On the CMLL side, we had the tag team of Zoxys and Dark Silhouette. And then on the AEW side, we had Lady Frost. And substituting for Taya Valkyrie, we had friend of the podcast and most awesome Billy Starks. I was so excited to see Billy Starks in there. It was great. I love it. I wrote this on my Blue Sky, but I love it when my favorite North American wrestlers show up in CMLL because it looks like they have so much more fun down there. And this is no different. Both Lady Frost and Billy Starks look like they had a lot of fun. But let's talk about this match. So we had Lady Frost and Zoxy start us off. Lady Frost hit a beautiful tijera on Zoxys, tossing her out. This brought Billy and Dark Silhouette into the ring. They traded some great technical reversals and roll-ups. Zoxys and Dark Silhouette then ends up taking control. We get a vicious backbreaker on Lady Frost, and they Zoxys and Dark Silhouette start showing the true colors by singling out Billy and just starting to beat on her. Then we had another momentum switch when Billy hits a beautiful swinging DDT on Zoxys. This led into Billy then hitting a tope on Dark Silhouette, who was outside of the ring, and Lady Frost hitting a tornillo on Zoxys. Another slight momentum change where we think that Zoxys and Dark Silhouette are going to get the pin, but oh no, because when Dark Silhouette and Zoxys try to do their planchas off the top rope, the two AEW women roll out of the way and end up with Billy hitting a got my notes all right here. There you go. Billy hitting a senton, and then Lady Frost hitting a tornilla, and they get the 1, 2, 3 for the Triunfo de AEW. I thought this was a fun match. My only complaint was I felt like it was a little short. You know what, Papa? Also, we haven't heard from you in like a month and a half. Talk to us, Eagle.
Well, I have been gone for a while, so I have to say that. Let me go ahead and get my normal stuff out of the way. Anytime the Amazonas are fighting, it is a great day because I love them. I love them all, and this was a fun match. I did not realize, and I don't know why I didn't realize that they were AEW. I don't know why I didn't. For some reason, it wasn't registering in my brain. Mm-hmm. But I thought that this, and again, I'll say it because for those of you who have been missing me for a month and a half, the women's matches are brutal, and I love it. It's like it was like And this one lived up to my expectations. It was a great match to open with, I thought, and I loved all four of them. I thought, and I'm not going to go into the specifics because you already went into the specifics, but I just love the energy that this match brought to the beginning of the episode, and it made me excited for what was coming next. So Amazonas are amazing.
They really are. They really, really are. Mikey.
So for me, so first and foremost, sometimes in wrestling as fans, when we are looking at a card or when we're looking at matches, sometimes I think the things that is a valuable skill to have in this business, especially because card is subject to change. So initially we were still getting it advertised as Lady Frost and Taya Valkyrie versus Zuxis and Dark Silhouette. And for me, I can't speak for any of my other constituents here. It wasn't until the day before, I believe, I saw a video of Billy at the airport in Mexico talking about how she's excited. So Billy was going to be replacing Taya in all of this, which made me super excited. And so normally, well, actually, in 100% of the time, if card is subject to change, I'm usually on board for it because, things happen. I will say this. I think Taya and Lady Frost would be amazing, but getting a chance to see Billy kind of make her CMLL debut as a happy accident is also very, very cool to see. And there's something about her very youthful exuberance and energy that kind of somehow is at home with CMLL, especially in Arena Mexico. And I think for those of you who don't know, Billy Starks has been doing this since she could walk at this point. So, as something we learned when we got to interview her last year, and she just fits so perfectly. Now, what I'm hoping is because she had a grand, the match itself, you guys already talked about it, was fantastic. But what I want to see more for is I want to see Billy Starks to be able, she made such a great splash in her debut. I would really love to see, I know it's not until later in the year, but I would really love to see Billy come back in some form. Like even I would love to see her in the Grand Prix. I'm gonna be honest, have her be in the Amazona Grand Prix.
Yeah, definitely. If you get a chance, this wasn't the last time that we saw Billy and Lady Frost in Mexico, because they did show up in the Arena Coliseo. Yep, on Saturday's Coliseo show. And she got hurt. I thought so. It looked like she got hurt. Because that match was they faced off against Zuxis and La Jarochita. It definitely looked like they were working a little bit stiffer in that match, though it still looked like they were having fun. But at the end, we had a bit of a reversal where La Jarochita and Zuxis did end up with the win. However, Lady Frost and Billy Starks did head off, and Billy did look like she hurt herself. So Billy, if you are injured, we send you all the healing vibes, and we hope that we can see you back down in Mexico soon. And this got us ready for the primer eliminatorio para sacar el primer finalista por el Campeonato Universal 2025. Or this was the first elimination to get our first finalist for the Universal Championship of 2025. In this match, we saw Stigma, Mephisto, and Titan facing off against each other. Very interesting start to this match in that we had a little bit of a team up with Titan and Mephisto. Mephisto being a rudo and Titan being a technically. So, but yeah, they teamed up to work over Stigma. Stigma had a great reversal where he got near falls on Titan and Mephisto. Stigma got everyone out of the ring, and he hit this one to head out on Mephisto. It almost looked like he cracked his head on the ground. But he kept going, so I guess he was all right. We got some more back and forths with between Titan and Mephisto. The first one that is eliminated is a Mephisto, who was who tried to get a plancha on Stigma, but failed. So he got eliminated first. He got pinned, which left Stigma and Titan. And in the end, Titan comes up with the win, and he is able to move on to the finals of the Universal Championship Eliminator Tournament. Mikey, let's go to you. What do you think?
So, given that the triangular matches were going to be the majority point of this show, I was a little surprised. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little surprised that this one was pretty short to get to our winner, where the other matches felt like they were given a little more time, and I don't quite know why that was. So I always enjoy good wrestling matches, right? I thought this was pretty decent. I liked it. I think because of how short it was, it really didn't give any of these three a chance to go balls to the wall, so to speak. And, I will say, I'm a big fan of Titan. I love him. He gonna have a busy month or two anyways, which I'll talk about at the news portion at the end. But yeah, I thought this was a pretty decent match. I just feel that what really killed it for me is because of how short it was. We didn't really get too deep into the craziness that we know these three individuals can get into. Yeah. And I felt like, oh, okay, well, that was fun, but I feel like we didn't get to the crescendo of the climax and everything. We were getting there, and then it just stopped.
Right. Will, what do you think?
It was too short. I concur. I think that this match felt more like a we just need to do it match. And we know Titan's going to win, so let's just throw some folks out there with him and let him kind of cut through them real fast and then move on to the next thing. Is kind of what it felt like. So again, don't get me wrong. I love Titan, and I think yay. But it just felt like it was, and I will agree with Mikey. I felt it was a little unfair to the other two. I mean, honestly, I felt like they were kind of just cannon fodder, if I dare say. I mean, it's just like, let's just don't put up too much of a fight. Let Titan win, and we'll move on. It's kind of what it felt like, and I was just sort of like, oh, well, okay. Yeah, don't get me wrong. It wasn't a horrible match. It's just, it had a weird feeling to it, and I didn't really know what that was. And I guess because I don't know the internal politics of CMLL, so yeah. But it just felt short and weird to me.
Well, our unofficial fourth, Agent Lo-Fi, does seem to share our sentiment on this. That it was fine enough. But it did feel pretty short. And definitely we would love to see Stigma showcased a lot more, because we know he can do it, but he never really gets the chance to shine. So, but Titan is your winner. He's the first one to move on to the championship match, which is later in the night. Our second eliminator triangular that we have is a lot of beef going on in this. We have Akuma, Esfinge, and Niebla Roja, and I am not gonna lie, going into this, Niebla Roja, I thought he was the odd man out, because I mean, between Esfinge and Akuma, that's a lot of good Prime A beef in the ring, and I felt like Niebla Roja was gonna get beat up, which he kind of did, I feel, but the match was really good. It was nice to see Akuma. I feel like he got some good offense in. It did start out like I thought it was going to start out, where Akuma and Niebla Roja, being your Rudos, they do team up on Esfinge. Esfinge does turn it around, puts on a clinic onto how agile he really is, because he would hit moves outside of the ring, jump back in the ring, hit a move in the ring just to hit a move back outside of the ring. And it was really fun. It was a lot of fun. In the end, we do get Esfinge, who gets the win and moves on and is the second participant in the finals of the tournament. So, Papa, also, what'd you think?
Well, I liked this match a lot. And I have to say that the more and more I see Esfinge wrestle, the more I really like him a lot. Like, he is, yeah. I mean, he was just agile, and he's so good. And I just like watching him. I liked watching them there in this match, and the others were good too. Don't get me wrong, everybody out there. But the more and more I watch him, the more and more I really enjoy his, I don't want to say style, but just his presence in the ring is just so great. And yeah, I thought, I was like, okay, well, I'm not familiar with the other two, like 100%. I had to go look them up. Yes, I had to go Google search. Sorry, guys. And so I wasn't 100% familiar with them and their ring work, but I thought that all three of these guys did really, really well. I thought the match was great. I enjoyed watching it. I actually went and watched it twice, just because there was a couple of moves that Esfinge did that I wanted to go back and look at. But yeah, no, it was good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, Mikey.
So this one definitely got a little bit more time to breathe, which I think always helps when matches get more time that they need. I think I shouldn't say surprised, but what intrigued me the most is the fact is that how often all three of these guys switch between taking turns getting beat up. Because at one point, Esfinge was getting double teamed here by Mr. Niebla Roja and Akuma here, and then the roles were reversed where Niebla was getting beat up on as well. We've had this conversation, over the last couple of weeks, even to a month, between you and I, El Buntador, and with Agent Lo-Fi, that it's been really fun to see Akuma get to this point. Now he's a champion. He's only like, 3 weeks into being a champion at this point, and then he gets thrown into these elimination matches and Triangulo finals to get into the final match. So it's been really fun, and I've been really enjoying his style of wrestling too. But of course, I gotta go with my boy Esfinge. I was just like, because of how often we get to see him, not just here in CMLL, but also how often he goes to, which we'll talk about later, probably over in MLW, to get to see him wrestle over there as well has been a lot of fun. So I thought this was a very fun match to watch. It was definitely given the time to breathe. And you know what? I was not mad at the result. Honestly, I would have been fine either way for any of these three, but I was not mad at the final result.
We will share your hot take there, Agent Lo-Fi. Akuma should have won the whole thing. Hot bias take. I'll be honest. Going into this, I either wanted to see one of two ways that this whole tournament could end. Either A, I wanted to see the Hermanos Chavez facing off against each other, or I wanted to see Akuma pick up the Universal belt. Neither of those, of course, happened, but, here we are. So Esfinge moves on. He's your second person going into the finals of the Universal Championship tournament. I do want to talk about something really quick about these first two matches, my good peoples, mi gente. So our referee, Tigre Infante, was he counting wonky or was it me, Will?
Oh yeah, it was.
Okay.
It wasn't just you.
Okay, good. Mikey, what? I'm not crazy, right?
No, I was just like, hold the phone. Like, what is... Okay, here's the thing. I'm used to weird ref counts, like especially over, Mania weekend for all the shows we watched. There were some questionable ref choices. I felt that I was watching this in slow motion because I'm like, sir, what are we doing with these counts? They were
Yeah.
either really quick, where we almost got a 3 count in a point where it wasn't supposed to,
Okay.
or
Yeah.
God bless this man's soul, but I was just like, that age was showing because I was like, at the slow counting killed to me at some point. I'm like, sir, we're kicking out at 1.5 at this point. Like, what is going on?
Yeah. And you are right, Agent Lo-Fi. Lucha refs are a different breed. They are fun. I just I had to point that out because that is one of the differences that you do see between like your US shows and CMLL. But it adds to the fun. So this brings us to our last triangulo to figure out who's going to be the last person in going into the championship, where we saw where we saw Flip Gordon facing off against Euphoria, facing off against Angel de Oro, and Que Manito and Que Monito and Que Malito, both out at the ring as well. I kind of felt bad for Flip because Flip went in, Flip did what Flip do, and then Flip was out.
Flip will live another day.
Yeah, he looked good while he was in there, but Euphoria was kind of like nope, bomb, and and pinned him for the 1, 2, 3, which left Angel de Oro and Euphoria. We had a new ref start in this match. We had Olympico and his quaff going. At the end of this match, we had a very weird 3 count where Angel de Oro did end up with the win, pinning Euphoria, but I don't know if Euphoria didn't hear the 3rd count or it was like an off count or something like that, but there were little shenanigans. But Angel de Oro does pick up the win in this. Papa Oso,
this one, I think this was probably my favorite out of the 3. This one was a little more action packed. I felt, me personally, I felt that it was a little more. And yeah, poor Flip. He's like, I'm here and I'm gone. But hey, that's okay. It was funny. The funny thing about the first 2 is I totally picked the winner in the first 2. I did not pick the right person in this one. This one had me guessing. So I wasn't 100% sure who was going to win this one. Yeah. And of course, I'm not mad at who did win. So yay. But I thought that for me, this one felt the strongest out of the 3. Even with, Flip coming and going so quickly, but I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed this one. Like I said, this is my favorite one out of the 3 eliminations.
All right, Mikey.
To me, this was the most Lucha Things match that Lucha Things were happening. I'm biased as hell. I love me some Flip Gordon. I am unapologetically a Flip Gordon fan. But yeah, as quickly as he went in, he went out. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of had Euphoria winning this thing. At least that was my pick, given the fact of the trajectory of where we have gone post being demasked at the anniversary show in September.
Okay.
But you know what? I am so happy that Angel did pick up the victory, because every single week, man, there's just a little bit more of me becoming a bigger and bigger fan of Angel de Oro. Though I will say, I do agree that the finish was kind of botchy, but honestly, like, because of how much wrestling I watch, I'm like, yeah, that tracks. I've watched enough wrestling where the probability and the algorithmic of like mistakes, right. So I was like, it happens. I'm not like most folks. It's like, oh my gosh, it was the worst thing ever. I'm like, I watch way too much wrestling. I have to learn to pick and choose what I care about the most, and botchy finishes like that don't really register on my radar as much anymore because I was still very entertained. And one little botch is not going to take my enjoyment out of it. So I was happy to see Angel pick up the victory here. It would have been kind of epic if him and his brother made the finals, because then it was just like the drama. But that is okay, though. At least we got one Hermano Chavez brother in this, and so I could have been happier.
Yeah. I also thought Euphoria was going to win this one. I really did. And then I was like, oh, maybe not. I was like, oh. So I struggled after Flip got eliminated. I was like, oh, Euphoria.
Your bracket, you're just like, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, Euphoria. Euphoria's got this. I was like, eh. And then I was watching it and I was like, oh, maybe not. I was like, oh, oh. So yeah, it really caught me. It pulled me in.
Yeah. Like always, and again, it might still be because we're still so brand new, but it's always nice to have these endings surprising us, where so much of other wrestling that we watch is kind of like, yeah, we kind of know what the outcome is gonna be. So to be able to go into this and be like, we think, oh nope, never mind, we'll rip that up and we'll So, and Lucha things, womp womp. All right. So if you are enjoying what you are seeing, we do all the wrestlings. I'll tell you what. So if you enjoy what you're seeing, please find us on the interwebs, because we are out there. We are on the Instagrams, we are on the threads, we are on the YouTubes, we are on the Twitch, which is probably where you're probably watching us right now. We are on the Blue Skies as well. We got merch over at bcwrestlepod.creatorspring.com, and if so inclined, we do have a Patreon as well. You could always join us. It's at BC WrestlePod. Every little bit helps. And really quick, just to kind of promote what the rest of the stuff that we have going on this week. Tomorrow, we are going to be reviewing the Mystery Wrestling 15. This is Evil Uno's production. Very fun time. I believe it's going to be JVL that's going to be doing that one there, El Jefe.
Yes, so JVL is taking the lead spot for the Mystery Wrestling. So he is bringing this to BC WrestlePod. We've been working on this for a very long time. And so he's going to be taking the lead. I will also be there tomorrow night, to be the secondary banana, if you will. I am the John Silver to his Evil Uno in the review.
Excellent. So that'll be at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. On Friday, May 2nd, we have our TNA Rebellion review. That'll be at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then Sunday will be our normal WWE Dual Dynasty review, where we review both Raw and the SmackDown. That will be at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Switch those. So yeah, switch those around.
No, I'm not going to switch it. No, because my dyslexia is going to say no. So I'm sorry.
Actually, no, it will be at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 2:30 p.m. Eastern, but that is okay. And on top of that, not only will we be doing Raw and SmackDown, but because it's literally next Saturday, we will be making our predictions for Backlash too.
So there you go. So we have pay-per-views. So many pay-per-views. We still have a full week, and then next week is full as well. So please, join us for all the wrestlings. Getting back to this show, however, our next spot, which I do want to put a little shine on, is we did have the presentation of the Copa Bobby Bonales. So this is an award that's given to different wrestlers in CMLL. It changes every year. So in this year, we had receiving the trophies. We had Zoxis, we had Pequeño Olímpico, Atlantis Jr., We had El Halcón, who is a Rudo legend in CMLL, and Don Salvador Lutero Cameo, who is one of the people that I believe started Arena Mexico and was instrumental in making CMLL when it was just EMLL and the other promotions. So so that it was a very nice spot, but then we got back into it because we have our semi-main event, Ultimo Guerrero versus Kushida in one fall MLW versus CMLL mano a mano. And can we just talk about Kushida's entrance gear real quick?
Yes.
Every time he comes out, man, I love it. I tell you what, I was afraid that he was gonna like tumble down the stairs though. Because it looked like he was having problems seeing out of that thing. But that is great. I love his presentation, the time splitter. So good. But yeah, this was our semi-main event. This is my take on this. If you are an individual that thinks that all lucha libre is flippy dippiness, then this is the type of match that you're going to watch, and it's going to show you that no, lucha libre isn't all flippy dippiness. Ultimo Guerrero and Kushido, they had some great mat wrestling. They did have some high flying spots, especially Kushida. Really impressed at some of the like sentons and moonsaults that he pulled out, hitting Ultimo Guerrero outside of the ring. Saw a little bit more of a Rudo side to Kushida, in my opinion, in that he saw that Ultimo Guerrero was favoring his left arm, I think it was, and kept attacking that left arm. And because of that, he hit this, he caught Ultimo Guerrero coming off the top rope and was able to like reverse it into an armbar. And he was able to have Ultimo Guerrero submit. So Kushida is your winner in this one. Mikey, what do you think?
So I'm biased as all heck because of everything that we cover here. Kushida is always going to be popping up in many of these things. Will and I have gotten a very fun. Well, for me, Will and I have got to experience a little bit of Kushida in his stint with TNA, especially when he was going up against Jonathan Gresham, and he came out as like a different version of Time Slitter Kushida with all like the drawings of like the talismans and stuff that he was wearing. So that was cool. But yes, first and foremost, this Marty McFly aesthetic that he has been going with for years now is so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like, it is so good. And you know what? I think for anybody who is not up on Kushida, because mostly he's been a New Japan staple, now kind of coming back into New Japan and as working elsewhere as well. I think this was a good reintroduction to people. Be like, oh yeah, Kushida is, amazing. And it is all these kinds of things. I don't necessarily agree that it was more like Rudo tendency, but it is more of an intensity, especially with Kushida being so focused on, working an injury. But that also kind of goes aside with what we normally see in New Japan, whether they are the good guy, the bad guy, or the in between. Japanese strong style wrestling is very kind of takes nod to some British style wrestling where it's very joint manipulated. And hey, if there's a weak spot, I'm going to come for it. That's why like old Shinsuke Nakamura in New Japan would be massively doing kicks to body parts if he sensed a weakness. So Kushida definitely got on top of that. But again, Ultimo Guerrero didn't make it easy for him either.
No.
I think the beautiful thing here is, look, I love Kushida, but Ultimo Guerrero, I feel like, I mean, we all love him. We three in Agent Lo-Fi, we love this man to death. But he always continues to surprise me of how versatile he can be, which is, a he's a consummate professional. I'm like, sir, you keep
Yeah.
pulling things out that I don't expect you to do, and then when you do that, now I have to eat crow. I'm tired of eating crow, Ultimo. I'm like, come on now. He is just so dang good, and he's so versatile. I was like, is there like anybody he can't work with at this point? Because we've seen him with different styles of luchadors. We've seen him fight other wrestlers, including in the States. And I'm like, sir, I need you to stop being awesome because you keep making me more and more excited to see you. Ultimo, I love you. They can never make me hate you. It's so great.
Definitely. Papa, also, you got anything to add?
Yeah, I love it when I love these matches because we see this really cool sort of melding yet contrast of the lucha style and the New Japan or the the Japanese style, that sort of, and I think that's what makes it so exciting for me, is that they're so different and then they sort of hit in the middle of the ring, and it's just like watching Kushida do his thing and then watching Ultimo Guerrero do his thing and then watching them kind of fight one another for dominance in the styles is so fascinating. It's why I love Okamura as well whenever he fights, because it's so different than everyone around him that it's just so neat to watch the two styles kind of, they clash and then they start to meld, and then the partners, their opponents rather, start to learn their style and kind of starts to put their defensive modes in that style. And it's so neat to watch. And I love Kushida. I absolutely love it. And I love Ultimo Guerrero as well, because he's just amazing. And it's just so neat that, when people, one of the great things I love about, because I'm a big dude and I love when big dudes get in the ring and just dominate, not just in their size, but in the way they move. And Ultimo Guerrero is like, man, he's a big dude and he can just sort of float through that ring and fly and jump. I mean, it's just so neat. And of course, Kushida is just like, ADHD all over the walls. And it's just so I just love watching it, and it's just I just enjoyed watching this match. It was just so great.
Yep, and that is a very good point. Ultimo Guerrero is one of the main trainers in CMLL for the Ciudad Mexico school, the Escuela Ciudad de Mexico, Mexico City School, I should say. Also, before we move on, I just want to give a shout out to Ultimo Guerrero's boots. I swear he has the flyest boots in all of wrestling. I will die on that hill. When he has his blue ring gear and he's got it's the spat thing that just does it for me. I love it in his blue gear, but his red gear that he wore tonight and with this in the spats, woo, child, get me some of those kicks. So that's right, raises the roof. Anyway, moving on. I can't do this. So this brings us to our final match, our main event, and the final match. The build-up. It's been we got like a month and a half going for this. This is the grand final para Campeonato Universal 2025, the Universal Championship 2025, where we see Titan, Esfinge, and Ángel de Oro face off. And we start off tijeras for everyone. Everyone gets a tijera. That's how we started off, and it was fantastic. I felt like this match was slow, but not in a bad way at the beginning, and then once it got down to once we got Esfinge out, he was the first man that got out, and we got to Titan and Ángel de Oro. I felt like it picked up. in the end, we do have Titan, who comes out with the win and is your new Universal Champion for CMLL. But it was a fight to get there. It was not easy. Mikey, what'd you think?
So first and foremost, I really enjoyed this match. I thought this was a really fun triangular final, especially with the three people involved. I'm not gonna lie, and this is not necessarily a bad thing. When I saw the final makeup, in my head, I'm like, yeah, I think Titan's probably going to win this. And the only reason I say that is because Titan is kind of like the unofficial bridge between CMLL and New Japan as well as some other folks here that kind of are crossing back and forth between those promotions. I was like, it kind of makes sense for Titan to win here, especially it gives him a lot of forward momentum. And I know New Japan is completely different than CMLL, but I was just like, hey, he's a universal champ and he's about to be in the best of the Super Juniors at the beginning of June. So why not? Which, spoiler alert, when we get to the news section, I kind of spoiled who's representing CMLL in that best of Super Juniors tournament. But I thought this match was really great. I'm not going to lie. I kind of would have been here for an Angel de Oro win here, because that would have thrown me for a major shock, but in the best way possible. But I think this was a really, really fun match for me personally. I think this was great. And you know what? The interactions that Angel and Titan had more one-on-one in this, triangular match was gold. I want them to run it back and give me a singles match between the two, because give me a Relampago match between those two. Let them throw everything, the kitchen sink, and they mamas at each other. Like, it would be fantastic. Though I will say I'm not upset that Titan won because, again, I'm biased. I love Titan.
Right. Papa Oso, dígame.
Yeah, I love this. I knew the funny thing is I was like, Esfinge is going to be the first one out, and boom, he was. And I was like, oh, that's okay though, because as the other two were just trying to annihilate one another, it was great. And I wasn't sure who was going to win. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. I wasn't really 100% sure that Titan was going to win this one. So I was kind of like, okay, surprise me. Let me see who's going to win. I chose Titan, but I literally about midway through the two of them going, I was kind of not really sure. I was just like, oh, okay. Well, which would have been great. I mean, it was great either way. I don't really care. I mean, it was like, as long as one of you guys wins. I loved it. I thought it was great. I agree. I thought it was a little slow, like not boring slow, but sort of like, I don't know. It felt like they were taking their time at the beginning, sort of setting, I guess, it felt like they were setting up Esfinge's exit. More so than just letting it happen. But then after you're right, after Esfinge was out of the ring, it sort of picked up and went quickly, or at least it felt quickly. But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. And yeah, I celebrated when Titan won because that's kind of who I wanted to win. So yay. So yeah, it was good. I really liked it. I thought it was a good end of the evening. So yeah, that's me.
I mean, any one of these three coming out a winner was going to make me happy. I personally thought Esfinge was going to pull it out. I was proven wrong. Seeing Titan walk out, I gotta really shout out though the end where Titan, he went for a leg lock, which Angel de Oro reversed into his mesadora, and which he connected and was able to stand up with it, but then Titan was able to reverse that into his own version of the mesadora. I thought it was just a really cool ending. And also at the end, we do get Titan and Angel de Oro hugging it out, showing us that camaraderie, which was really cool. Yes, please, CMLL, run this back. Let's match Relampago, Titan, Angel de Oro. Let's do it. I'm here for it. And Agent Lo-Fi, he agrees with us yet again. Angel Titan, great stuff. So that is the end of the show. We got some news and upcoming lucha coming up. So first, right around the corner, we have Azteca Lucha, which is the MLW CMLL show in Chicago, where we're going to see a lot of MLW stars coming up to face off in the monthly MLW show, which is free on the MLW YouTube channel. Go ahead, Mikey.
So we do have some matches announced for this too, as part of the, we'll tag in and add for this one. So I'm excited for this one because MLW and CMLL for the next actually 2 weeks, as we talk about previewing this Viernes Espectacular, we're going to be seeing a lot of MLW and CMLL crossovers. So as of right now, as it pertains to CMLL, there are 4 matches made for Azteca Lucha so far, but 3 of them are mostly involving, CMLL talent. So the first match that I do want to talk about is we are getting a tag team match where we will see Atlantis Sr. and Esfinge teaming up to take on Guerrero Maya Jr. and the Alchemist of CMLL Hechicero. So I'm excited about that one. Then, El Butador, me and you have talked about this before, but we're getting a triple threat because it seems that Místico seems to be doing more okay now. And we are getting a triple threat of Místico, Templario, and MLW's Ikuru Kwan, who, even though he wasn't in the Grand Prix that long, I was really impressed with him and became a fan. So I'm excited. I really am. It's nice to see Ikuru get this opportunity to fight, Templario and Místico in this match. These 3 of them have been kind of hanging around the middle featherweight championship for some time in MLW, so this should be a fun one. And then the final match that has to do with CMLL and MLW is that we do have one half of Cozy Max, Mr. Satoshi Kojima, taking on a returning Alex Hammerstone in MLW. So me and Will are familiar with Mr. Hammerstone from TNA and finishing up there. So that should be an interesting match where bodybuilder taking on not murder grandpa, but more like manslaughter grandpa. So that's going to be fun.
Once you get those slaps going, those chops. Yeah. So that's going to be good. And if you pay attention to the AEW sphere, you will know that coming up in June, we do have AEW CMLL first on Tuesday, June 17th at 7:30 p.m. at Arena Mexico. The Arena Mexico show is going to be AEW and ROH versus CMLL. But then the big Grand Slam Mexico, which is Wednesday, June 18th, which apparently is already sold out. There's been a lot of chatter about it. I still am not sure if any matches were announced for it.
Not yet, but
not yet. Okay, cool.
I would not be surprised if we start getting some matches made after Double or Nothing.
Yep, fair. Just give me Will Ospreay versus Máscara Dorada. Make it happen. CMLL, make it happen.
Will versus anyone would make me salivate.
We'll talk about that later. Anyway, Agent Lo-Fi, you are correct. That is gonna be a stacked week, and the indies in the area are gonna be going crazy too with their cards. So, but this Friday we have another Viernes Espectacular este Viernes, and what's coming up? Well, it's a little bit of a preview of the MLW versus CMLL because we got MLW coming down to Arena Mexico to face off against CMLL. On this card, we are going to see Reina Isis versus Alejandra Quintanilla. Then we have 2/3 of the of our ghost pirate ship, Zandekan Jr. and Barbosa versus Ikuru Kwan and Donovan Dijak.
That is correct.
I thought Ikuru Kwan was part of Contra unit.
So here's how I see it, right? So yes, Ikuru Kwan is part of Contra unit with Mads Kruger, Janai Kai, and all of them, which first and foremost, Miss Quintanilla over here is replacing Janai, because initially when we got the announcement, it was Janai taking on Reina. So I don't know if she got hurt or what.
Yeah, I got to look at that.
We'll look into it. But yes, Ikuru is part of Contra Unit, and it's interesting that he's pairing up with Dijak. But I'm also treating the show outside of the, well, as much as you possibly can, outside of the cinematic universe of MLW.
Cinematic universe. Okay, very good. Very good. All right. Then for the tag team champions, MLW, we have Magnus and Ruhido versus the champs Kojima and Okamura. So gonna be a lot of slaps in that one.
Give me bread.
Yep. In a match Lampago, we have Neon versus Paul London. Gonna be interesting to see how Paul London handles a match Lampago, especially against Neon. It's gonna be interesting. And then for the open weight MLW championship, we have Ultimo Guerrero versus Matthew Justice. Will Ultimo Guerrero be able to overcome his arm injury and actually beat Matthew Justice for the MLW championship?
Crazy.
Gonna have to tune in and find out. And in our main event, we have Mystico, a returning Mystico who I checked today and I did not see anything saying he was not gonna be there. We have Mystico facing off against the time splitter Kushida. So I think it's gonna be a fun night. I mean, the MLW shows are really fun to watch. So seeing the talent down in Mexico, I'm sure it's going to be fun as well. Will, do you have any? What you got, Will?
So I was Googling, as I do, and I was looking at like ticket prices to go to CMLL, to Arena de Mexico.
Oh boy.
And they are only, for the really good seats, like right along the ramp, like 2 seats, like right on the ramp.
Yeah.
2 seats, $75.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. So what you're saying is we need to start fundraising so we can fly to Mexico.
Yes, so we can get all of our people and just
point of order on that. I did hear, I don't know if this is scuttlebutt, but I did hear that for the Wednesday Grand Slam that the ticket prices did get raised and it still ended up selling out. So the question is it like tourists coming to Mexico to see it, or is it like the regular Arena Mexico faithful that are going to be there?
Well, I looked at like tickets like in June, like late June, and most of the arena is already sold out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. So I'm like, which is cool. And I don't necessarily, I don't have to be anywhere near the ring to enjoy it. I just want to go,
Could you imagine being next to the ramp and like, slapping hands?
That would be a dream.
You heard it here first. That is the next goal. Let us fundraise. We're going to start a GoFundMe for Los Lobos de la Lucha to take a seat Mexico City.
Yes.
And thank you for that tip, Agent Lo-Fi. The AEW prices were under the Aniversario prices, which is the biggest show for CMLL, but higher than a normal Friday. Yeah, Friday, Tuesday, Guadalajara, Puebla, man. I just want to go see some CMLL in Mexico. But Mikey, you got anything left to finish us off?
Oh yeah, I only have 2 other bits of news too. So we already talked about Azteca Lucha with CMLL and MLW happening Saturday, May 10th. But really quickly, as I mentioned earlier in the review, Titan is our CMLL representative for New Japan's Best of the Super Junior tournament. So he will be participating in there for a shot at the Junior World Heavyweight Championship in New Japan. I also want to give a shout out to Templario, who, wasn't able to capture the title from El Desperado after being beaten with not one, but 2 pinche locos, which is, El Despi's finisher. Templario is going to be a busy boy. So he's going to be in that triple threat on Saturday, May 10th. But the night before, he will be in Ontario, California, which is kind of in my backyard, which is an hour and a half away. He will be teaming up with his New Japan United Empire stablemate, TJP, Mr. TJ Perkins, to take on West Coast Wrecking Crew for the Strong Openweight Tag Team Championships. And your boy is going to be in the building. So that is, I get to see Templario wrestle live. And I will take all the pictures and probably be a puddled mess by the end of it because that match is going to slap.
Nice. You got to make a file and label it Papa also and send those specifically to him.
Oh, well, yes. Listen, El Buntador, if you can only see our group chats.
Hey, it's no secret, you know. It's no secret. Papa also has professed that he would deliver or he would carry Templario's babies. So, you know,
he's yes, indeed.
Yes, and he is a very fine little piece of meat going on there. But yeah, that's the show for tonight, y'all. So thank you, Agent Lo-Fi, as always for coming. We got a really fun show coming up this Friday. If y'all get a chance, check out the CMLL YouTube channel. They do post some of the Guadalajara and Arena Coliseo shows. They will post them up there for free. But you know, you can still watch some CMLL Lucha there. Also, there are other shows that are free, and you don't need to speak Spanish to enjoy the lucha. You can just watch it. But from us here to you, we all hope that we get to hang out again. We hope to see you all soon. Let me get this outro going. Doop doop doop. I know how to do the thing. Doop doop doop. I know how to do the thing. All right, and we'll see you next week. Hablamos luego. Adiós.
Me tiene loco en la cabeza cuando me tocas. Siento que todo está bien, pero en